Welcome to my review of Killington Resort in Killington, Vermont, as people like to call it, the Beast. And you can, if looking at these pictures, this is their website. You can see kind of why they call it the Beast. It's huge. There's tons of terrain. If you can go on a weekday, you can get lost there easily and not see another person. Even on weekends, I mean, especially early season is a little rough because there's not as much open, but even the way it is now, I was just there this past week. There's plenty open, and you can have a great time. So I want to just cover it, look at the trail map, talk about the pricing, talk about how to get there, and where maybe you might want to stay. All right, first of all, Killington is a little town in Vermont. It's not the most, quaint looking ski town, but it's got plenty of things. It's got a lot of bars and restaurants there. So here's Killington itself. It has its own peaks, but then it also shares, I guess they own, or it's all part of Killington is a Pico Resort. You can either ski at Pico alone and drive to Killington, or ski at Killington and go to Pico, right? As far as I know, the Killington lift ticket is good at Pico, but the Pico lift ticket is not good at Killington. I like both of those mountains. Maybe well, I don't know if I'll do them separately. I think I'll just do them all together now. We'll see. Let me think about that. So Killington itself is about 5 hours from New York City, 3 hours from Boston, and about 6+ hours from Philadelphia. Depending on what the weather's like, you may have an easy time getting there. So generally, one would drive. You can go up 87 and work your way across to Rutland. That's one way to do things. A lot of people coming from south will go through Albany, and then of course we have to deal with Troy. I've talked about that before. Driving through Troy, New York is never that easy because of the congestion you get. So if you're going on a busy period, you're going to hit a lot of congestion when you get through Troy, right? Once you get to seven is a nice road that goes over a pass. I was driving in it recently in a snowstorm, and listen, if I didn't have a Subaru Wilderness Edition Crosstrek, I wouldn't have felt comfortable. With my Subaru, I would have probably felt pretty comfortable, just a regular Subaru, but if it had the right tires. But with the Wilderness Edition, I know I have the right tires. I have all these snow modes. I'll tell you, it was not easy driving there, especially, almost like whiteout conditions. But I felt very calm and comfortable driving that car. So that car you drive can be very, very important when you go to these areas where they get a lot of snow. People have told me before that Killington. So here's what I've heard over the years. I've skied Killington many times, in Vermont many, many times, and what people tell me about, I'd compare like Killington to Okemo because they're not that far apart. They'd say Okemo is better for snowboarders, whereas Killington is a true skier's mountain. You can have fun at either one of these with either type of equipment, but do I trust the locals? I trust the locals. So Killington is it's in this little town. It's almost like a cul-de-sac where you go to the mountain and you got to come back out. They're very strict about traffic there and speed limit, so you have to be careful. Do not speed when you go through town. So there's a lot of little restaurants there, and you have nice places to stay. I just stayed recently at North Star Lodge. It's a nice place. Again, it would probably be harder to get in on a weekend than on a weekday, but it has this nice outdoor heated pool. I got a suite. Suites have their own indoor hot little hot tub bath bathtub, which is awesome. Um, Plenty of amenities, stovetop, no oven, so you can cook. I made pancakes. I did all kinds of good stuff there. TV in each room. It was great. I usually go through Expedia to get things, but whatever your discount place is. Here you go. Look, tomorrow's 117. I don't know what kind of room that is, but it's probably like a single or who knows what. All right, let's go back to so that one I recommend. Another one that I used to like staying a lot of Cedar Brook at Killington. Let's go there if I can. Cedar. Yeah, here you go. I really like this. it's like a actually it's like a timeshare, but they rent out rooms there, and they have suites and other rooms. They also have another outdoor pool. It's 100 degrees all year. The only problem I have with it now is there's really no eating options right nearby. So you'd have to either drive into Killington or pick up food on the way there. There used to be a restaurant called the Back Behind right across the street that I used to go to all the time, but after the pandemic, the owner just shuttered it and didn't come back. But I love this place. I've stayed here many times. There's this nice creek in the back. I remember one time when my son was like, you know, in middle school, there was these guys who were partying in the swimming pool, and we were just sitting there, and they challenged my son to go take a dip in the water that they did themselves and then jump into the hot tub he did, which was cool. That's right behind. I mean, if you like scenic, it's pretty. One thing is that this isn't that far from Woodstock, so if Woodstock is a quaint Vermont town, so if you don't mind driving, it's a great place to stay. Other things nearby. I know Long Trail breweries nearby too, so there's plenty of good stuff in the area. But if you want to be near closer to the action, I would actually stay in Killington. But again, that's up to you. You can also stay in Rutland. Rutland's not that far away. Rutland's the closest major town to Killington. There it is right there. There's plenty of cheaper hotel options, motel options, tons of food and everything you need over there. So you can also stay at Rutland and drive in. And I think you can take a bus from Rutland. I saw buses going there the other day from Rutland to Killington. So you can just stay wherever you want. I mean, there's plenty to do there. And then you're not that far away from other mountains like Sugar Bush and so on if you go up north. All right, so let's get to the mountain itself. I love looking at this pic. I love it. This is a really nice screen shot here, but let's go to the good stuff here. Let's go to the good stuff. The trail map. They have a good interactive trail map, which I always appreciate. I love the interactive maps. So you can see what's open. Everything that's in bold is open, so we can see that's a lot of terrain. That's a lot of terrain. Doesn't seem like a lot of terrain, but there's a lot open. So here's the gondola, K1 Express gondola takes you to the top. Down here, some of their main runs like Escapade, I think Cascade. Where's Cascade? Somewhere here. Few are not quite open yet. I guess they'll open up a little later on. There's Cascade. They're not quite open yet, but they're coming. I mean, they're doing a good job. Killington usually opens first in the east, so I don't think they were this time. Somebody beat them and they closed last. But there's some good runs here. So their signature run from the top is Great Northern. Great Northern used to be a green trail, and then it became a blue trail, thankfully, because I remember when I got hurt there once when I was skiing, and the snowboarder who never had been on a snowboard before hit me, and like I flew over and hurt my shoulder. I had to go to get PT after that. So thankfully, after that, there were probably too many accidents. They upgraded it to a blue, trying to avoid keep novices off, but it doesn't change. There's always going to be a lot. It's like a long trail, narrow trail that you can go all the way down to the bottom. These are very common in ski areas. In the beginning of the year, mostly this area is open with Bunny Buster and Shoot, and then these runs here, including your Mousetrap. This isn't a really hard black. It's just a little bit steeper for about a minute. So you go from Bunny Buster to Mousetrap and down to I think Lower Bunny Buster. Yeah, that they're not that bad. There's a nice bubble lift that services this with a blue canopy. So this is a very popular area right here. Uh, Up here, Rhyme and Reason are usually let's see, Upper East Fall. Rhyme and Reason should be underneath. Here it is, Rhyme, and I think Reason's up here or down. Where is it? Rhyme and Reason. Can't even find it. Yeah, so not everything. Oh, it's this Racer's Edge. Yeah, these runs up here. I can't find where Reason. There it is. Yeah, Rhyme and Reason, that they're open, and you can play around there. The run that goes right underneath this lift, what is this? This lift right here is really sweet. I was looking at I'll actually go to a mountain cam and I think you can see right underneath there. It looks really good now. I tell you, the snow right now is perfect. Whatever they did, I mean, it is perfect. And they just had like 5 inches last night or even more. So it was snowing a lot. So that, yeah, that's an area that's quite popular. This East Fall is a steep little area here. Yeah, I've done it before. Sometimes it gets icy, but I think right now it's pretty good. It goes into another questionable black, but I think it's just black because of this area here. It's like very flat, but you have East Fall feeding into it as well as Cascade, so you get all these black trails. So that's why I think they call it black. Over here is their the signature trail of Killington, which is Superstar. In normal years during Thanksgiving, there's a race here, a women's FIS race, which Michaela Schifrin tends to win every year, at least the slalom. She's a slalom queen. So this is a fun and steep run, and it's usually the last run to close at the end of the season, sometimes going into June. By the end of the season, you have just moguls everywhere, naturally made moguls. It's like a must do on everybody's skiing bucket list. The beginner area is actually very good. The other day I was skiing with my faction Prodigy 2. So most of the summer working out at Big Snow, I was using all my my more carving skis, like the slalom type skis. So this is the second. Actually, I got the Prodigies last year in about March, I think was maybe March, and they were a little took a little getting used to for me. And but after a few runs, I'm like good. So I spent a lot of time playing around here with them the other day. This is a really nice beginner run. I mean, it's long and it has a lot of undulations. You're supposed to be slow on there, but sometimes you can go fast. I mean, and have fun. You can practice carve. It's a great place to practice carving and any kind of tricks that you want to do just on flat land, not with jumps and anything like that. Let's see. There's some offshoots off of the Superstar area that'll take you during later in the year. These will be more mogul like here Skyhawk, but right now they're probably just not moguls yet. Okay, so but when the rest of the mountain is open, then that's when things get kick into high gear. I really like Bear Mountain. Bear Mountain has, I think, this signature steep run here, Outer Limits. It's really killer steep. And every spring there's a mogul competition on it. I mean, it's steep. It's extremely steep. But there's some really good runs here, like this one right here. One of my favorites, Skyburst Upper. So you can take like there's a gondola that feeds in from the Skyship base here. So if like I say, if you're smart, what I would do is get here early and park at Skyship when it's open, and then take the gondola up. Take the gondola up. It goes in two stages. I mean, you don't have to get off if you want to go to the top. It's up here. Then you can play around at in Bear Mountain. So here's the Skyburst run. The initial part of this run is steep. I mean, sometimes blue trails can be really, really steep. The initial part is a quick drop off. Then you can go down. I think there's a bridge over here. I can't remember where over or under the bridge. And then you can work your way down and just catch this lift back up here. You can ski down here. There's this area where the gondola, the Skyship gondola goes. The second stage, there's a Jamaican restaurant right here. If you want some good Jamaican food. Then we have other areas here. I haven't really spent a lot of time in this area here, to be honest. Let's see. Yeah, I don't really, I don't even think I've ever skied in that area. There's this really, really long trail like Solitude, and I think this one here, yeah, it goes on but it's pretty flat. So you might say, well, I'm gonna try this because it's a really long trail. It's just a very, very flat run. A better run that'll have at least a little tiny bit more pitch, just like you have Great Northern, there's Great Eastern runs should be like right here. It's Bear Tracks. Somewhere over here is Great Eastern. And it'll take you all the way, say it takes you all the way down here to there it is, Great Eastern Lower. It takes you all the way down to the bottom here to the Skyship gondola. So when you're done, you can just ski all the way down, take your dear sweet time. Down here, there's a lift with a couple of good runs. Like Needle's Eye is nice if you want to do some cruising. Sometimes I've seen racers training here. Yeah, so you can actually practice here. Actually, my favorite area of all when I just want to practice is over here, and this is the what I forgot what the name of this area is. Let's see. I can't remember the name of the area. I'll have to. We can look it up on a different map. But actually, this area here. Let's see what it's called. Oh, Ram's Head, right? Ram's Head. So here's another secret. If you have a Subaru, there's designated parking for Subarus. That's right next to the entrance. So if you have a Subaru park there, you can get like easy access to the mountain. This Ram's Head, um, this Ram's Head area is great to start your adventure. I mean, it's amazing. That's one of my favorite places to everything's my favorite, but this one is where I'll tend to hang out when I go there on my own or with my son during the regular middle of the season. Just stay there and then we'll start. You can ski up here, or you can ski to this area here where Snow Shed, right? Where the beginner slope is. There's also a big area here where you can hang your stuff up and hang out and eat. But I tend to prefer Ram's Head myself. The run right here, Header, is a great long blue cruiser when especially when it's fully covered. You can just practice your turns here. It's not very steep, but it's a good place to practice turns. There's some wooded areas here too. Let me see. I mean, Treasy, is that, yeah, Treasy Zone. It's good for learning woods. I'm not a big wood skier, but my son is, so he can play over there. And there's some offshoots. There's also a training area. Where is it? Somewhere up here. Yeah, Alpine training area where you'll see a lot of people doing slalom training. They have their own like rope tow, but it's usually not open to the public. Um, so if you want to just have the full Killington experience, you can park wherever you want, but eventually you're going to work your way up to this gondola, right? The K1 gondola. That's the main gondola. Go to the top, go take Great Northern down, and then you can, do whatever you want. I mean, if you want, you can stop here and work on reason and rhyme and all those great runs. If you want to do Eastfall, you can go down Eastfall, catch the lift back up here again, continue on down Great Northern until you say, wait a minute, I don't want to go down, where's it, Great Northern anymore? Then you can play around in some of these other areas that are open. Just have a full day. And as soon as they get enough snow and Bear Mountain opens, then you got your pick of the litter. Bear Mountain has its own little lodge. Sometimes I'll park there. As I mentioned previously, you can park at Skyship, but you can also drive. So this is where Skyship is. You can drive to Bear Mountain. Good place to start your day. I mean, it's so huge. It's such a huge mountain that you can go anywhere and feel like it's not crowded. But if there is a place that if you want crowds, I'd say go to the K1 gondola, that area here. They have a new lodge next to the K1 gondola that's pretty impressive. There's a K1 gondola. There's a new lodge here that's I think it's called K1 Lodge, maybe. Sorry if I messed that up, but it's got all the amenities you want. And plus you can watch because one of the things that again, because of the race being here, and again, it wasn't here this year because they replaced the lift. Now they have a six pack faster lift. So they just replaced it, and for that reason they couldn't host the race and it went to Copper instead. And of course Michaela Schifrin won the slalom there again. So hopefully it'll return because that's been something that's big. Now, I like that it wasn't here because it took away some of the crowds, so I could go and have fun. And what about prices? Let's take a look at prices here. Mountain information, buy tickets. Let's buy tickets. Tickets. How do I buy tickets? Yeah, there's somewhere there. Tickets and passes. There you go. So buy now. I'm not going to buy now. I have Icon. Icon provides 5 tickets to both Killington, not to each, but to both Killington and Pico. I'll probably use, some at least one of them at Pico as well. You can look at what the prices are now. If you buy them online, they're less expensive. I would strongly encourage to buy them online. Otherwise, you're going to be wasting a lot of money. You can see that some days are going to be much more expensive. This is the Christmas week holiday, so you're going to be paying a lot to go skiing. I would avoid that unless you either if you have no other choice. But to do that, I'd avoid skiing during that week at Killington. Come to Blue Mountain instead if you're down in Pennsylvania area. But that's just not a good time to go. It's just going to be overcrowded, and you're probably going to be running. That's increases your risk of having an accident when there's so many people there, especially people who don't know what they're doing. But prices are reasonable. I think the Icon Pass mountains are cheaper in general. It's my view. Maybe I could be completely wrong than the Epic ones. Let's just take a look at the camera just so you can get a taste of what things look like. Let's go to the webcam. Oh, this is so beautiful. Look at that. It's too beautiful. I could just watch this stuff all day. I didn't have to work. Let's go to the webcams, conditions and webcams. And I'll show you, I think this is Rhyme or Bunny Buster. I don't know. Let's see. Conditions and webcams. All right, where is it? Can I do that? Where are they? Oh, here it is. Webcams. So here's the Superstar cam. Well, Northridge. There you go. Let's see what. Yeah, it looks like it's Reason right here. Look at that. Look at that snow. Imagine being there right. It's open and there's nobody there. You'd have this all to yourself, and you have this lift that services it. I mean, isn't that amazing? Look at that. Oh, it's so nice. I mean, it did snow yesterday, so that's probably why it's like that. It's so beautiful. Those views, the frosted trees, my favorite. Let's see what else we got. What other camera do we have here? Superstar camera. So that's Superstar, the one I told you about. Quintessential Killington run, and there's the K1 Lodge right underneath. A lot of people want to park there. You probably just want to either go up here and just do laps on Superstar. Again, this is very, very steep, especially the start. It's funny during the spring when it gets soft, it feels like you're on a beginner bunny trail. It's so easy to ski when it's soft. You can ski in your shorts maybe. And this is Snowshed, the learning area. I was playing around here the other day. You can see there were some beginners there, and there's these signs that say slow, but it's really easy to go fast here if you want. You know, it's only open partially right now. Usually the whole side is open, but that's plenty to do good practice and learn at. What else we got here? Oh, look at this nice view. So beautiful. There you go. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I would strongly urge you to put Killington on your bucket list if you haven't been there. And I guess we'll move to what about Sugarbush next review. And then one thing I have to do is I got to put in reviews of all the small mountains that I haven't reviewed yet because I've been to some only a couple times or I've been to some and only focused on one run for whatever reason. So in that case, I'll cover those. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I need your help. And I got a new camera. I'm excited. I can't wait to start filming. It's like it's Insta360 Ace something. It's awesome. So give me that 360 view. I can't wait to start filming with it. Thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day and go skiing, snowboarding, whatever you like doing.